Hello, Paul. How's it going?
Hi, Jacqueline. Another week.
Another week. It's been a while since just you and I have been on the podcast, I feel. It's been a couple weeks at least, right?
Yeah, I missed it terribly.
I know. I missed it terribly. We have a lot to talk about this week. So I'm going to take us right through the headlines
Hmm.
because there's, a lot of meat in last week's issue. I kind of made this joke because I was writing up my intro. I said, I think last week's issue was kind of the Anthony Letai issue. We had two pretty huge stories about him. But of course, this day and age, there's a lot more to the issue as well. So our cover story was an exclusive interview with Dr. Letai, and Paul that's really what we're going to be talking about today. And we'll get into the nitty gritty and the details. And Letai also addressed the National Cancer Advisory Board for the first time on December 3rd. So we had a story about that. We covered his remarks and also sort of the questions NCAB had for him as well, which I think were really informative, just considering the time that we are in. We also had major news that somehow was not the cover story. In any other normal world, this would be the cover story. But Richard Pazdur, after his 25 plus year long career at FDA, announced his retirement from the agency. The retirement followed a 3 week stint. Is that right, Paul? 3 weeks? 3 or 4?
Something like that.
I think 3 weeks
About
stint.
three, not
Yeah.
around 2 full weeks worth of.
Got it. Worth
Uh,
of being the director of the Center for Drug Evaluation and Research at the agency, which I
yeah.
think we can probably also touch on later in the podcast.
Oh my God, yes, we should. This is
Probably.
probably the most important news.
I know.
It's as important as Letai.
Absolutely.
Uh, so,
And then just to round off that part of it is we had a guest editorial from Exact Sciences, Paul Limburg, about mail-out colorectal cancer screening, plus a pretty exhaustive cancer policy section last week, including findings from AACR's inaugural Pediatric Cancer Progress Report, and some other things that are definitely worth checking out. Okay, so Paul, let's start with Letai. Just, start with, I guess, the good news. Can you take me through what your conversation was like, what his sort of attitude means for the field?
yeah. It was interesting because it was actually my first real conversation with him. I didn't know him,
Yeah.
amazingly, until now. He is really serious about sending out the message that things are going to be stable.
Hmm.
Um, and that is not the message the cancer world has been getting for a very, very long time. So
Just about 9 months.
stability. He is not going to be really very different from three of his predecessors. One of them was a Republican appointee, Ned Sharpless. Then, of course, Monica Bertagnolli is a Biden appointee, and as was Kim Rathmel. I mean, but these are really top-notch, heavy-duty cancer people,
Yeah.
and he is one of them, and he's not going to do it differently. I mean, he's not. He understands the structures. He understands the cancer centers. I don't know how he's going to get it done, but he's going to stabilize this thing. And it's not that unstable, actually, when you think about it. But it's one of the things that's kind of a work in progress for him is, and I'm saying this as a consumer of information, is to explain how the new method for funding grants is going to work.
Mm.
That's I don't know. I don't understand it yet.
Yeah.
How it will work is probably different from how it was designed. That things always are.
Yeah.
But I don't even understand how it was designed or why. But that's not a it's not accusatory. I just don't understand it. It's just being honest.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
get it.
I mean, to speak frankly, and I think that, this change in policy, right? It's centralizing the peer review for the grant review process, right? So it's going out to NIH, and also they basically we're done with pay lines. There's still going to be a
That's
score, and
that's
it's
the part. That's the part.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is, I think, really weird, even just for me. I mean, I feel more secure in my understanding of the field now, but still, I mean, I've only been here for 3 years, but still, I think that, you know, pay lines are like we write about them every single year. They always are really important to our readers. And so it feels a little destabilizing to just not have them. And I think when we were covering it before Dr. Letai was announced, and you know, we have Trump and Kennedy and McCary and Prasad, all of these actors who don't necessarily seem to have the oncology's world best interest in mind. It's, or at least in our view. And I think that's what's nice is that, you know, the opening of the gray space is, I think, actually what he said, right? He said there's going to be more gray area, which I guess from my understanding, there was already a gray area, right? It's not just going to be a pay line. But I think that the concern for us was when we have these people in power that we don't necessarily have the same trust in that we do with Dr. Letai, right? He has all of these credentials. He's trusted by the community. And now he's the top decision maker in this process where there's more gray area and more trust is kind of required. So I
More
think that
trust is
the
required. You're right.
change, yeah, the change is a little unsettling. We don't love the idea of moving away from, you know, four percentile pay line, period, you know, and we just know that it's scientific rigor. That's it. And, you know, when Trump says it, it's, you know, more aligned with institute priorities. That's a little scary, I think, you know, as information consumers, as you're saying, Paul. But thankfully now we have Letai in charge, and he seems to be very trustworthy. And so hopefully, I think what he's trying to say is that, you know, these things are different, or these processes are changing, but hopefully, in actuality, not a lot will change. And I think that's what I'm hoping for as a naive optimist.
Well, as a naive optimist, you know, it looks like the cancer centers are doing pretty well with CCSG review process acting, you know, working out pretty well.
Yeah.
And he's talking about making things simpler for redesignation, renewing the designations of cancer centers.
Yep.
That is Letai. I'm kind of eager to find out what he thinks about the new criteria for designation. He said that he's got more to say later,
Yeah.
which is great. We'll be there. Yeah, it's also interesting to see what he said about helping NCI make its case.
Yeah, we covered, that was definitely in the NCAB Q&A session. And I would say that might have been the tensest moment. It was not very tense. And that's so refreshing to have just a nice meeting to cover. No tension, you know, whatever. But the most maybe high stakes moment was, I think, a conversation about this push that Letai is going for. And it's an awesome idea. It is, well, do you want to explain exactly what it is?
Well, he's talking about showing to the American public that their money has been spent really well.
Exactly.
Which is drugs came about that you know, are direct outcomes of the NCI funded grants.
Yep.
So it's not a drug that's brought to you by AstraZeneca or Pfizer or whoever. It's a drug that was brought to you by the American taxpayers and then developed by a pharma company. So that's been the case, and it should continue to be the case. And that's what he's trying to show. Well, the part that's controversial is that somewhat before he came in, right after the administration came in, they got rid of the NCI communications team entirely, almost.
Yeah.
So they didn't just transfer it over to NIH. No. They riffed it.
Yeah.
And Dr. Letai basically is saying here is that he wants to rebuild this capacity, and more power to him if he wants to do it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that was, I mean, and I could be misunderstanding this. We can fact check me, but my understanding was, and again, that was exactly what sort of that exchange was at the NCAB meeting. Was one of the NCAB members brought up sort of this concern of this is a great idea, having these vignettes of patients who've been helped by NCI, taxpayer money, all of these things. Such a good idea because it is true. Like nobody outside of the world, not nobody, but not many people outside of the world of oncology understand the role of NCI in actually progressing cancer treatment. I think that is definitely a room for growth in the communications. But my understanding was that I think Dr. Letai was saying that they currently have the capacity to do that, even with the smaller communications budget. I could be wrong about that. Do you remember, Paul?
I don't know. I no, that is exactly what what the discussion was.
Mm.
But I don't know what's the best communication strategy would be, and that's not what people pay us for, is to determine what's the best communications strategy. I've seen NCI spend money well on communications, and I've seen it absolutely do horrific things. So that's kind of, but I suspect he is going to come up with something good. I don't know about you, but I miss PDQ, which was most of the NCI communications.
Yeah.
I hope they restart it.
Yeah.
The money is really coming because it's just levels of evidence is something that's more important than what they call gold standard science these days, whatever that is.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But you know what? I mean, that's just all the semantics stuff. Who cares? What we care about is that they do good policy, and that NCI does make its case for what
Yeah.
it's done.
Well,
So
that's kind of what I was saying. It was like a positive thing. Like,
yeah,
considering all the turmoil, Latai is really giving out, like you said, sort of this confident statement that things are fine. Things will be fine, period.
and they aren't not fine
Yeah.
yet. They may remain fine.
Yeah.
Some parts of medicine things aren't fine. Some parts of NCI things aren't fine. But mostly, the rumors of the demise of the national cancer programs have been overstated greatly. So we were going back and forth on this Mark Twain quote
Yes.
in our conversation, which was a lot of fun. But so it shows you that he's got a sense of humor about the whole thing.
Yeah.
And his planning is in the right place, presumably, as is his heart is in the right place. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so it was refreshing to hear somebody who is on the same wavelength as his advisors.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Love it. Should we switch over to Pazdur?
Yeah, speaking of people who are not on the same wavelength with colleagues.
Yeah, let's go to the other side of the spectrum.
It's really interesting because you have really great news on one end and really horrific news on the other.
So sad. So sad.
Let's first talk about what Pazdur stands for.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Go ahead.
You wrote that story. Yeah, that story was incredible. Please share.
Well, what Pazdur stands for is regulatory science that's rigorous. People talked about it as being the need for rigorous regulatory science before it could be done. And he has demonstrated it could be done and made it happen. So, he deserves medals for this. In fact, we're going to have one made.
Are we? This is news. I would love to do that.
No.
You'd probably be like, "What is this?" We should do it though. I'm in for that.
Oh yeah, let's design the medal.
The cancer letter honors you.
Yes, the cancer letter medal of honor, or whatever the heck
make it a thing.
But really, he deserves it, whatever it is, even the jest. So, he received the battlefield promotion when George Tidmarsh got canned, deservedly so, to become director of Center for Drugs Evaluation and Research, which is arguably one of the hardest jobs in the U.S. government, by the way. And Pazdur was up to it, and to some extent, Pazdur had a good reason to do it, which is in part to protect oncology, the things he built in oncology.
Yeah.
They were going to, but did that guarantee that these guys won't come for that? No. And he basically couldn't stay. He wasn't up for it. And also he couldn't stop what really needed to be stopped, which was this effort, this reexamination of deaths from, the adverse events reporting system that Prasad ran and other anti-vaxxers that purportedly found, and by the way, there's no data. This is all evidence-free. That like a bunch of kids died of COVID shots. So we killed a bunch of children, which is. And FDA, of course, issued this mea culpa finding, and they want to change everything and change the way vaccines are approved. Yeah. And now this is based on no data, based on no outside advisory committees, none of that. Plus, there's this voucher program that the FDA commissioner has put together, and that voucher program is a parallel drug approval system. So how do you get drugs approved? Now, what Pazdur has always stood for is bring a bunch of academics, have them sit down without preconceived notions and kick this thing around in a public fashion.
Yep.
Because he thinks rigorously.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you have somebody who thinks rigorously, they will be able to withstand a bunch of academics hashing things out in the public forum. And if you don't know what you're doing, or if you have a secret agenda, you're going to be finding all manner of stuff. Now, what this means is that, think about it. These adverse events reporting systems, they're going to find that terrible things happen to people. But attribution is not possible using that data. Nope. So give it to somebody whose basically goal is to show that vaccinations do more harm than good. Yep. And give them power to bypass normal scientific inquiry that would withstand. It's about the soul of American medicine, and in fact, a group of former FDA commissioners, the people who have run FDA over the course of 35 years, wrote an editorial to the New England Journal saying this is really dangerous, that path of FDA is taking, and so basically, Pazdur was led up to the point where he had to either sign off on this or, slam the door, leave and slam the door. So he had to leave and slam the door because you do not want to be a part of essentially destruction. Now, of the American medical system. So what does that mean? I don't know. What it means for oncology, almost certainly, is that anybody who hasn't tried leaving yet is probably trying right now to get the heck out of there because they're coming for you. That's really what it is. And it's also, there's no mystery about what Vinay Prasad wants to do next because we've just seen it with vaccines. So he's going to show using FDA's own data, and some of this was hinted at by Tidmarsh in his
Yeah.
before his ouster,
Yeah.
that they will use FDA's own data to show that there's no overall survival based on accelerated approvals and approvals based on surrogate endpoints. So they're not used as surrogate endpoints. None of this is really, it's basically looking at Pazdur's whole sort of worldview around which he built the whole system,
Yep.
engineered it, and gained trust from academic oncology.
Yep.
And you take somebody who is essentially a gadfly, Vinay Prasad, who has made a career of Pazdur bashing and the bashing of accelerated approval, and put him in charge. So they're coming for oncology. And what will that mean? God only knows. Will the White House step in and end this? God only knows. It was really interesting that Bio actually issued a very strong statement saying, "Hey, this is time to right the ship, because if you're developing drugs, you want there to be predictability of the system."
Yeah.
I mean, there is a way to get a drug approved, possibly. I don't know how you get a drug on the commissioner's voucher program list. What it takes, I have no idea. I don't think it's transparent.
Yeah.
With Pazdur, things were always transparent.
Yeah.
I mean, you could like him, you could hate him. I've heard people say, he killed a bunch of my drugs, but hey, I don't want him to see him go.
Yep. Yep.
Because you know why he killed your drugs.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is not going to be a system where you will know anything, or that could be run by anybody, because that whole layer of people who could run FDA after, or oncology division after Pazdur leaves, doesn't exist anymore. They've already left. They got really nice offers. I hope for my friends, and left. So you have a bunch of younger people who are probably very good too, but need a little bit of time. But so it's a nightmare scenario.
Yeah.
And it's taking place. They're under attack, and there's no way they can withstand the attack.
Yeah. It's terrifying.
It is terrifying.
Yeah.
And people who are terrified, the only good news on this, I'm going to be on brand as an optimist. It's my new brand. I'm an optimist.
Love that.
Yeah, right. Is that pharma and biotech and not maybe the associations, but mostly companies themselves are going to let the White House really make the White House understand what slaughter is taking place.
Yeah.
One of the things that came through in this whole debacle is that Marty McCary has more juice politically at the White House than RFK Jr. Because RFK Jr. is the guy who talked Pazdur into taking this job at Cedar. And as Pazdur was leaving, that's the triumph of McCary and Prasad.
Yeah.
And McCary believes that Prasad is one of the greatest geniuses of our time. It's the greatest something. I don't know if a genius is quite right.
Yeah. Well.
Let's fill in the blanks.
I can't let myself fill in the blank here.
Yeah, that's probably a good move.
Probably for the best, yeah.
So, we've covered him over and over and over. This is a person who is on record basically opposing next-gen sequencing in cancer and basically opposing immuno-oncology. driving out the person, and I'm talking about Prasad, who has made it possible for whole new generations of drugs, precision oncology drugs, and other drugs, such as, immuno-oncology, to become available. So
You're talking about Pazdur, right?
yeah.
Yeah. You said Prasad, so I just want to make sure
No,
that's
Prasad is the guy who's opposed to the
yeah.
entire
You,
Pazdur point of
yes,
view and
yes.
all the technology that it's based on.
Yeah,
So if
100%.
I misspoke or was how you say, speaking in oblong spheroidal.
I don't know that. What is that?
If I were
That's
so,
perfect. Thank you for the definition.
anytime.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of uncertainty to come. We're going to have to see how this all plays out, but we will be here to cover it.
It's a great time to be a journalist.
Oh my gosh. Wow. When's the last time we pulled that out?
A
Love it.
couple of weeks ago.
Love it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Paul. I will talk to you next week.
Next week, we'll all be there here, God willing.